Congratulations! You found my video. Hello everybody, my name is Shamit Doshi. The reason I'm making this video is that I got a sudden burst of inspiration, and if that is not convincing enough, I also feel that the smartwatch market has become quite competitive and I need to vouch for a side. So I welcome, and drum roll please, the Pebble. Sorry, bad joke. I would like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Pebble Time. And for those of you who think this is a 21st century pocket watch, please don't worry. I have the bells right here, just put them aside at the moment. It may look puny and run down in this technologically advancing world, but according to me, it is still the watch that can awe people. Fun fact, the Pebble was the first commercially successful smartwatch company. I will now give you 5 reasons to put your money behind this gadget and not spend those countless hours watching helplessly at the Apple, Samsung, or Fitbit websites. I'm going to be using the Apple Watch Series 3 as a comparison just to fuel a nice challenge. It'll be quite a lot like Lightning McQueen and Hudson Hornet, right? So let's get started. Number 1. It is smart but still a watch. Now that sounds like a weird statement, but what I'm trying to imply is that when you're wearing the Pebble Time, you're not constantly bogged down by the reminder about how dependent on technology we are today. Wear an Apple Watch and you feel like you're owning a phone on your wrist. It is a compact powerhouse of genius engineering, great iOS touch user interface, GPS, LTE, and whatnot. It is stellar. No wonder Apple is hoarding the watch market, right? But deep down, do you really need that much? Isn't a watch supposed to be supplementary as of today? Otherwise, why would Apple try to market a revolutionary iPhone 10, right? Sometimes you just like a device that fills the gap between something which is really old and something that is ultra modern. The Pebble Time is just that. If you look at it, it is reminiscent of the traditional watch, but through its build and tacky buttons, which might seem a little bit obsolete today, it provides a really different feel, if not fun and optimistic for most people. I would like to just say it has a really different feel altogether. It uses really bright colors and it also has a lot of fun caricatures. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, let's have a look here. You scroll down, and hey, there's a sun greeting me for the day that lies ahead tomorrow. And I'm sorry if there's any lateral displacement because of my phone camera. I just can't help it. To summarize some of the other caricatures, what I'm trying to show is that here, let's go into my notifications and let's hit clear all. And yes, if you see, okay, you see that? It's just like a shredder. Now what I'm trying to say is it's really fun to look at these little tiny bits. Pebble also has a vast app store with some really cool applications too, which are really quite interesting to look at. And I'll show you some of my favorites over here. If you look at this first watch face earlier, it's Mario. And if you look at it, hey, Mario just jumped. And that gives me a really retro feel, and my friends really loved this watch face. Another really cool application that I found was a coin. I mean, how simple is that? In today's cashless generation, who knew that a coin could be so fascinating? Really nice. Another thing that is really cool about the Pebble is that you can play back music using the buttons on the Pebble. So you can keep your phone safely tucked in your pocket and just go ahead and switch right from your wrist. Now, if you look at some of the other things, you also have this really cool addition for the Pebble, which is a microphone for which is located right here. You see this little hole? That's the one. You can use that and some other important applications in order to take down notes or reminders. Now, beware, this is not going to be as slick as Siri. Neither is it as good a companion as a real person, but it gets the job done and it's fun to use once in a while. So that's what I wanted to summarize by saying that the Pebble is a watch which is smart, but it remains loyal to the core concept of being a watch. Now, let's get to number 2, battery life. Apple says that if you own the Watch Series 3, you will not need your phone beside you. But with an 18-hour battery life and 5 hours only if the GPS is turned on, whether or not you have a phone beside you, a charger is something you're going to be heading for almost every time. It's something you just cannot forego. The Pebble Time has a huge lead in this sphere. With a 5-day battery life on the cards quite consistently, the fear of rationing battery life is almost out of the equation. I've worn it 24/7, or rather I should say 24/5, many a times, and my mom sometimes thought I was really obsessed with it, but I can say that I was truly impressed with its battery life. Number 3, display. The Apple Watch yields a spectacular display, which is a visual treat owing to its amazing resolution and high contrast ratio. Unfortunately, it is a bit vulnerable to bright lights, and to overcome the rays of the noontime sun, it must utilize a sizable chunk of power. Pebble played it quite practically over here. Since it does not adopt the touchscreen like its rivals, it could bank on the use of e-ink technology. It is the same technology that Amazon uses in its Kindle. The colors may seem relatively washed out in comparison to other watches in the market, and the processor might seem a wee bit slower, but these trade-offs give way to a superior battery life and an anti-glare display. It is also equipped with something really cool, and that is motion backlight. So let's just dim the lights, I would say, and flick the watch, and you can see that. So, as I can see, I can prepare a motto for this. In the brightest day, in the darkest night, the time shall not escape your sight. Because, beware my power, the Pebble Time's light. Number 4, weight. So, in the red corner, weighing 0.13 pounds, the current heavyweight champion of the world, also known as the inedible fruit, the Apple Watch Series 3 has highly accurate activity trackers for running, swimming, cycling, and maybe a few more here and there. However, there are many runners or athletes who might feel quite unbalanced or weighed down in their wrist. There are some runners who just want to feel as light as possible, as symmetric, and as free. They do not like the weight that is lodged onto their wrists. Now, in the blue corner, weighing 0.09 pounds, the challenger called the Smooth Stone, the Pebble Time. The lightweight frame of Pebble is what makes it win heavily in this sector. It almost feels weightless right from the first wear on, and you can even doze off quite completely, I've noticed. It doesn't possess a swimming tracker, but for runners, it's a definite win-win situation. Number 5, the price point. Pebble is currently priced at $80 on Amazon.com, but on a good day, or maybe on a sale, or during some festival season, you can tag it and bag it for $55, which is unbeatable even for a funky Fitbit Flex 2, which doesn't even have a display, by the way. It is also $300 cheaper than the Apple Watch Series 3. And do I need to say any more about that? Number 6. Hey, I said 5 points, right? I'm sorry I'm breaking the rules here, but let's call this a miscellaneous sphere. Some other notable features about the Pebble also include its ability to quite accurately track down footsteps and calories and the amount of distance that you have walked. And just like the Apple Watch Series 3, it also sends you some motivational messages such as, hey, you're a machine, you can walk so much, might as well do it tomorrow too, break the records. It sends some really nice messages, and I felt quite motivated by it. Some other things also include the famed sleep tracker of Pebble. Now, the sleep tracking system of Pebble works on the concept of recording the amount of hours you clocked in while sleeping the previous night. Now, if you just press the central button, you can get a whole amount of information about how much you slept in the present day. And when you scroll down, you can get a sleep report on all the days. And do not be afraid if you see a blank bar in the second column. It's not that I've not slept the whole night, but I just didn't wear the Pebble that time. So to summarize, I can just say that Pebble completely rocks. Get the pun? If you like the video like I did, please do give a thumbs up and bring in those comments. That's all, folks.